Hey everyone, welcome back. I am so excited to jump right into this explainer today. We're going to be unpacking what is arguably the greatest, yet somehow completely overlooked, wealth and philanthropy story in modern history. We talk endlessly about today's tech billionaires, right? But today, we're focusing on a historical giant whose legacy literally continues to quietly shape the modern world. Okay, Section 1, the philanthropist, and a staggering $102 billion legacy. So let's reframe what true wealth actually looks like. We all know Elon Musk frequently holds the title of the world's richest man. But, there's a massive difference between holding personal wealth and actually giving it away. The world's absolute biggest philanthropist? He isn't from Silicon Valley. He comes from India. Jamshedji Tata built an empire that has resulted in a staggering philanthropic value of $102 billion. That's roughly 8.5 lakh crores. Absolutely wild. And what's truly mind-blowing here is his starting point. This is not a story of massive inherited wealth just being passed down and donated. No. Jamshedji Tata started this phenomenal business journey with just 21,000 rupees. It's like planting a single seed and watching it grow into an empire that fundamentally changed an entire nation. To put that $102 billion figure into perspective, his giving actually dwarfs the contributions of the most famous modern billionaires you read about in the news every single day. He surpasses even the massive, highly publicized charitable foundations of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. That makes Tata an absolute titan of historical philanthropy. All right, moving on to Section 2, Rise Against the Raj, Defying the British. To truly understand this legacy, we've got to go back to British India. Born into a family of Parsi Zoroastrian priests, his father actually broke generations of tradition just to start a business. Jamshedji himself graduated from Elphinstone College in 1858. Now think about that context for a second. The 1877 revolution had just been crushed, and the British Raj was tightening its absolute grip on the country. But despite this incredibly oppressive atmosphere, at just 29 years old in 1868, he started his first company. And by 1877, he had launched the Empress Mills in Nagpur. So why start a mill? Well, he observed the mechanics of British global dominance firsthand. During his early career working in places like China and Hong Kong, he saw this exact exploitative cycle playing out. India was essentially reduced to a mere raw material supplier. The British would take Indian cotton, ship it all the way to Lancashire mills to be woven into cloth, and then, get this, sell that same cloth back to the Indian people at exorbitant prices. Tata realized right then and there that true independence required breaking this exact cycle. Section 3, People First, Revolutionary Reforms. Now, the crucial point here is how he actually decided to run Empress Mills. He completely rejected the harsh, oppressive norms of the Victorian era, where, let's be honest, workers were essentially treated like disposable machines. Long before international labor standards even existed, Jamshedji implemented reduced working hours, a provident fund, paid leave, medical aid, and accident compensation, all the way back in 1880. He even built schools for his workers' children. He operated on the completely revolutionary belief that the health and welfare of the workers is the actual foundation of corporate prosperity. While work until you drop was the global standard, Tata just completely changed the paradigm. And the ultimate takeaway? These reforms weren't just an act of charity. Actually, scratch that. It was brilliant, highly effective business strategy. By treating his workers with dignity and investing in their well-being, Empress Mills produced extremely high-quality textiles. They were so good, in fact, that they successfully rivaled and competed against the mighty established Manchester Mills. A real game changer. Section 4, Building the Future Through Industry and Science. His vision went way, way beyond textiles. He knew that for India to truly stand on its own, it needed heavy industry, deep scientific research, and genuine self-reliance. He even traveled to America to hire brilliant engineers to help build a domestic steel industry when the British refused to cooperate. But when Jamshedji proposed creating a world-class Indian Institute of Science in 1898, he faced severe pushback. The British viceroy, Lord Curzon, literally mocked him, claiming it was like giving a hat to a naked man who needs trousers. The British bureaucracy delayed the project at every single turn, insisting that Indians simply lacked academic capability. So, how do you respond to the viceroy mocking your country's academic potential? Well, Jamshedji Tata immediately pledged half of his personal fortune to ensure the institute would be built. Half. He put his massive wealth directly on the line to prove the colonial establishment wrong. Sadly, Jamshedji passed away in 1904 before he could see his steel plant or his science institute completed. But his sons, Dorabji and Ratan Tata, relentlessly carried the torch. When they needed funding for Tata Steel in 1907, they raised £1.63 million in just 3 weeks. And the best part? It didn't come from London banks. It came from 8,000 everyday Indian investors who believed in the vision of a self-reliant nation. The legacy was absolutely realized. They built Jamshedpur not just as a gritty factory town, but as a meticulously planned city with wide roads, parks, and sports facilities for everyone. And the Indian Institute of Science? It finally opened in Bangalore in 1909. That very institute went on to produce scientific stalwarts like C.V. Raman, Homi Bhabha, and Vikram Sarabhai. Tata's vision literally laid the academic groundwork for India's future space and nuclear programs. Which brings us to Section 5, the secret engine, and why 66% goes to charity. So, if he started all of this well over a century ago, how on earth is his philanthropy still valued at an unbelievable $102 billion today? Well, the secret engine of the entire operation is its equity structure. When you look at Tata's Sons, the holding company for this massive global empire, a stunning 66% of the equity doesn't belong to the Tata family or private investors, it belongs directly to charitable trusts. This fundamentally rewrites how a corporation operates. It means that the massive corporate profits generated by global giants like TCS, Tata Motors, and Tata Steel actually bypass the founding family entirely. Instead, those billions in dividends flow directly into the Tata trusts. The system is literally hardwired to continuously give back to the people. And what do those trusts do with that constant flow of wealth? They fund massive, life-saving infrastructure. A perfect example of this is the Tata Memorial Hospital. Established back in 1941, it stands today as India's largest cancer hospital, where countless patients continue to receive completely free or heavily subsidized treatment. It is a living, breathing testament to wealth serving humanity. You know, it's really no wonder that India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, called him a one-man planning commission. Jamshedji Tata was literally planning the nation's industry, scientific institutions, and healthcare infrastructure decades before the country had even won its political freedom from the British. He built the very pillars a modern nation needed to stand on. Which brings us to our final takeaway in this explainer. Many people know how to make a fortune, sure, but very few are true institution builders. So I want to leave you with this question to ponder. In our modern era, which is so deeply obsessed with simply accumulating personal wealth and chasing the title of the richest person, who is actually laying the groundwork and building the life-changing institutions of tomorrow? Thanks so much for exploring this phenomenal story with me. I'll see you in the next one.